History. Chapter number 1. When, where, and how. First of all, let us recall the definition of the word history. History is the past record of people, places, and events. Now, always we think that history is a very boring subject. But it's not at all like that. History is a very interesting subject because we come to know that how great kings and queens and people contributed to our culture and civilization. By studying history, we come to know that how the scripts evolved and how the languages that we speak have come into being. Studying the past helps us solve the mysteries of the past through many people such as historians and archaeologists. We come to know about the past. We come to know that how the people dressed in the past, how the people lived in the past. So friends, never feel that history is a very boring subject. It's a very interesting subject. History is divided into ancient, medieval, and modern period. Each period has specific characteristics and development and has changes in social, political, and economic organization. The medieval period in Europe lasted between 600 and 1400 CE, while the medieval period in India extended from about 700 to 1750 CE. The medieval period in India is further subdivided into early medieval period and late medieval period. India is known by different names in different regions. In the ancient period, India was referred by names such as Bharatvarsh and Jambudvip. Bharatvarsh is mentioned in both the Vishnu Purana and Rig Veda. South Asia was also called Jambudvip or the land of rose apple tree in Puranic and Buddhist text. Patanjali used the term Aryavarta or land of the Aryas to denote the northern part of India lying between the Himalayan and the Vindhyas. Aryas are the good and the noble man. The sacred book of Parsis is Zendavesta. It mentions Sapta Sindhu as the name for India. Sapta means 7 and Sindhu means rivers, the land of 7 rivers. The ancient Greeks referred to the Indians as Indui or people of the Indus. During the medieval period, the name that gained popularity was Hindustan, along with the term Hind. These names are still used in present day. Now let's know that how these names come to being. The rulers of Delhi Sultanate and the Mughals called their Indian empire Hindustan. The term came to be used for the region of India lying between the rivers Indus and Brahmaputra and the Himalayan and Vindhyan mountains ranges. The river Indus or Sindhu came to be known as Hindu. The word S of Sindhu became H in the languages of the visitors from the northwest, and the people who are living in the eastern side of river Hindu or Sindhu came to be called Hindus in medieval India. Thus, the land of river Hindu became Hindustan. India's present name is also derived from the river Indus. In the early medieval period, the name Hindustan denoted the land which are lying between the river Indus and its tributaries, and the land between rivers Ganga and Yamuna. In the late medieval period, the name Hindustan came to denote much of what is today, that is India. Just as we use the pieces of puzzle to make a picture, similarly, historians use source to reconstruct the medieval Indian history. These sources are historians' tools which help them to study the past. There are 2 kinds of sources. First is archaeological sources and second is literary sources. Archaeological sources. The study of history through material remains of human life is known as archaeology. For example, monuments, inscriptions, coins, sculptures, and paintings. Monuments and buildings. The structures are big or small in size. Some are beautifully intact and others are in ruin. Some examples of them are forts, palaces, temples, tombs, mosques, clock towers, gardens, and so on. Inscriptions. Inscriptions are writing on solid surfaces, such as metals, rocks, pillars, and stone structures. Coins. Coins in the medieval period were mainly made of metal, such as silver, gold, and some alloys. These had different scripts and figures inscribed on them. Sculptures. The sculptures are made up of bronze, wood, or stone. They are the depicted figures of gods, queens, and kings. For example, the Nataraja or the dancing Shiva. Some statues are also examples of sculptures. Paintings. Paintings are found in the form of large painting, portraits, and miniature paintings on both scrolls and pieces of paper. Different type of paintings are found in different parts of India. Literary sources. Literary sources are the written form. They are written in many languages such as Persian, Sanskrit, Arabic, Urdu, regional languages, and so on. In the early medieval period, paper wasn't used in India. The materials such as palm leaves, bark of birch trees, and animal skins were used. In the late medieval period, paper was used as a writing material. Literary sources are of two kinds: religious written sources and non-religious written sources. Religious written sources include religious texts such as Ramayana and Mahabharata and saying of saints such as Dohas. Non-religious written sources included autobiographies and biographies, court chronicles, writings of foreign travelers, and royal decrees. Autobiographies and biographies are the life stories of important individuals such as kings and emperors. They were written by the individual or by the scholars residing at his court. Several scholars wrote about the history of dynasties of the period. These texts were known as court chronicles. Writings of foreign travelers. Many foreign travelers, scholars, pilgrims, and royal ambassadors visited India during the medieval period and left behind an account of their journey and experiences. Royal decrees. Government documents or archives in the form of royal decrees or farmans issued by the rulers form a part of this literary sources. Broad historical trends in the medieval period in India. An important group of people in this period were the Rajputs. They were the warriors and kings in the northern and central India. Rajput is derived from a Sanskrit word, Raja Putra. Raja means king and Putra means son, the son of a ruler or king. The Rajput claimed Kshatriya caste status. Four clans played an important role in the history of this period: the Pratiharas, the Chauhans, the Solankis, and the Pawars. These clans called themselves the Agnikula because they claim to have originated directly from a sacrificial fire conducted by sage Vasishtha on Mount Abu. Important political events of this period was the establishment of Delhi Sultanate after the arrival of the Turks from the northwest and setting up of the Mughal Empire. The custom of granting land to nobles by the rulers in return for regular tributes and military help was a significant political trend of the period. The important social trend of the medieval age included the increase in the number of new castes, the rise of tribal groups with their own distinctive identities and customs, and a sharp distinction between rural and urban areas. The significant economic trends of the medieval period were the flourishing of trade and commerce, along with the introduction of a more systematic assessment of land revenue. The period also witnessed a revival of Hinduism. Religious reforms in the form of Bhakti and Sufi movements were major developments of the period. The distinctive styles and the technologies arose which added to the grandeur and magnificence of medieval Indian buildings. Now let's know something more and new. Calligraphy, or the art of writing alphabets in an artistic manner, was a common feature of the manuscripts written during the medieval period of Indian history. Second, floral and geometric motifs were used to decorate books and monuments of the period. Now let's have the summary of this chapter. Number 1. The medieval period in India lasted between 700 to 1750 CE, and it was subdivided into the early and the late medieval periods. Number 2. India has been known by different names such as Bharatvarsh, Aryavarta, and Hindustan. Number 3. Inscriptions, coins, monuments, sculptures, and paintings are the archaeological sources used to reconstruct the history of the period. Number 4. Court chronicles, biographies, autobiographies, texts on music, and travelers' accounts form the literary sources of medieval Indian history. Number 5. The medieval period in Indian history had unique political, economic, social, and cultural trends. So friends, how was this video? Did you all got to know the chapter? Did you all got to know something new? Don't forget to tell me in the comment section. So if you all like this video, don't forget to like this video, share it with your friends so that they can also get this chapter. Subscribe my channel. And yes, please don't forget to comment me below. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.